That's all right. That's my cue. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sangeetha Rayapati, and I'm the mayor of Moline. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to this press conference today for an update on the transit bill that was passed last night in the Illinois House and Senate. And when I say it's a pleasure to welcome you here, I really mean it, because the last 2 times I've hosted these events about passenger rail service, we did not have such a positive outlook. So I'll get right to the point. Today is different. Today is a day for celebrating because we have secured funding for our train. Our legislators give you all of the details, but today we can breathe a little bit easier about the opportunities and prospects our residents and communities will have in the coming years. We will no longer be a metro area at risk of being isolated economically, like a rail car slowly detaching from the train of progress. That progress that other downstate communities have been driving for themselves for the last decade or so. It feels to me like it is truly our community's time to shine. Our collective community showed its passion, drive, resilience, and vision by coming together and advocating in new and creative ways during this veto session. I was assured by one of our liaisons to Springfield that this would not have gotten done without the efforts of our entire region. The campaign to contact legislators that was created by the Quad Cities Chamber and shared by many of us truly made a difference in sharing the desires of our community and making our needs known. So today we celebrate teamwork. All these people had a hand in keeping this project in the forefront of the minds of decision makers. All our folks and friends from labor that lent a hand to find a solution, we thank today. All of these people here with me today who read the room, so to speak, and capitalized on this opportunity to find a state solution to our state transit problem. And if you hear members of the minority party saying that our representatives from the Quad Cities sold out downstate, do not believe their lies. We are downstate. The Quad Cities is downstate, and we finally got what we deserve. It's absolutely true that nothing works in isolation, and I'm so thankful for everyone's help in breathing life back into this project. There is a long list of folks to read, so bear with me. I'd like to recognize Governor J.B. Pritzker, his Secretary of Transportation, Gia Biaggi, and in his office, Jack Can, Director of Public Engagement for his Office of Public Engagement. Senator Mike Halpin, Representative Greg Johnson, Representative Eric Sorensen, former Representative Sherry Bustos, Doug House, IDOT Deputy Secretary, retired, Matt Hughes, former Director of Finance and Administration, CFO of IDOT. And in Rock Island County, Richard Kihas Brunk, Rock Island County Board Chair, Jim Grafton, Rock Island County Administrator, and a posthumous honor to Porter McNeil, Board Member. In the City of Moline, myself and Bob Vitas and Barry Dijkhuizen, our City Administrators, served on this committee. From the City of East Moline, Mayor Reggie Freeman and Mark Rothert, City Administrator. In the City of Rock Island, Mayor Ashley Harris, Todd Thompson, City Manager, Thomas Flaherty, Assistant to City Administrator and Economic Development Director. In the City of Silvis, Mayor Robert Cervantes and Jerry Leibovitz, City Administrator. From the Chamber, Quad Cities Chamber, Peter Tokar III, CEO, Ryan Semf, Executive Director of Government Affairs, and Brian Irby, COO. From MetroLink, Jeff Nelson, recently retired MetroLink CEO. Ben Limmer, our new MetroLink CEO. And I'd also like to recognize Dan Gosa, Quad Cities Federation of Labor President, Corey Bergfeld, Tri-City Building and Construction Trades Council CEO, Ben Leischner, Quad Cities International Airport Authority Executive Director, Dave Heller, Quad Cities River Bandit CEO and owner, Dave Harrell, Visit Quad Cities President and CEO, Alexandra Elias, Renew Moline CEO, Jack Cullen, Rock Island Downtown Alliance Executive Director, Janelle Wolber, Redeem East Moline CEO, and Maria Ontiveros, Mercado on Fifth President. To Rep. Johnson and Senator Halpin, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you did to make this happen. To Doug House and Matt Hughes and Chairman Brunk, all these 5 people stayed up the latest last night. And all of you on this rail committee who tirelessly advocated behind the scenes, there is not enough thanks to express our gratitude. And I did want to make a special note of thanks to Porter McNeil posthumously, who I felt was my partner in advocating for downstate priorities and who helped to originally form this group. I look forward with hope and anticipation to that day when we are all here again, in body or spirit, in this station, to train to Chicago. Thank you very much, and I'll bring up Richard Keyhouse Brunk.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Indeed, a great afternoon here in downtown Moline, is it not? This has been a very long time coming. I don't think anybody would debate that. Just months ago, the Rock Island County Passenger Rail Committee was formed, recognizing that we had a tremendous opportunity this year to get this project pushed forward. This group of community leaders standing before you, including some that aren't able to be here with us today, came together to support the legislative efforts of Senator Halpin and Representative Johnson, working with their colleagues in the General Assembly to ensure Chicago to Quad Cities was included in the state's transit bill. A true team effort by so many, including so many area residents who, as the mayor referenced, reached out to legislators all over the state. And I can tell you, based on our conversations in Springfield, you were heard. You were heard loudly. Thank you for that. There's still work to be done, discussions to be had, routes to be determined, and so on. With that being said, the passage of this legislation brings us to the threshold to make rail service happen. Ultimately, it was Senator Halpin and Representative Johnson that brought this home to our region. And we greatly appreciate their efforts and those of their colleagues in the General Assembly. With that, Senator Mike Halpin.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Mayor, for putting this together, and thank you to the entire committee that put their heart and soul into this effort over the last 12 months. When last summer the Chicagoland area started talking about the need to address their transit fiscal cliff, we started to hear from our downstate transit districts that they were facing their own cliff as well. It was something that Greg and I were well aware of just from our conversations with the community. And so as we heard some of our Chicago colleagues talk about making transformational change in how we do mass transit, we wanted to make sure that downstate communities weren't left behind and that we could be transformed just as well. And not only are we talking about actual transit operations dollars, so more money to Metrolink, City of Galesburg, Warren County Transportation, Go West and Macomb. Those dollars are in the bill too. But we took this opportunity to fight for this project, which this community has been fighting for decades. And we had an opportunity here to do what, I think everyone in this room is familiar with my frustrations with private freight rail and their unwillingness to chip into this project. we decided this was an opportunity that if we needed to, the state and local governments could go alone to fund this project. And so through very intense negotiations in the spring, the Senate version of this transit bill that we passed included language that was going to get us close to $475 million additional dollars to put into this project. We were excited about the opportunity at that time. The House wasn't quite ready to take it up, despite Greg's best efforts. But as we got closer to veto session and the plans started to come together, the House was ready to pass a version that included that no matter what. And in the final days, just last night, I've lost track of time, Wednesday night, we didn't think there was going to be a transit bill. There hadn't been an agreement. There was too much difference between the legislation in the Senate and the House. But the governor, to his credit, and his team came together with organized labor, with leadership in the House and the Senate, and put together a package that is fair to our community, and which is why, I can't speak for Greg, but it's certainly why I supported it. And I'm looking forward to the next steps. And I do have bad news for the committee up here. Your work isn't done. Your work isn't done. Because we need to continue to make sure that the governor's office and the Department of Transportation take those next steps to obligate this funding and appropriate the funding and take steps to enter into the agreement with Iowa Interstate Railroad and start that planning to make sure that this construction happens. And that is going to take time, it is going to take effort, but I'm with this community and this committee all the way, and I'm so excited for the options that this gives us. This is a long time coming. It's not over yet, but we're a giant leap forward from where we've been in the past. And with that, I want to turn it over to someone who, without whom this would not have happened over on the House side, my friend, my partner, Representative Greg Johnson.
So first off, I think everybody knows I'm a pretty emotional person. So imagine me being on 1 hour's sleep, basically. It was a long week, and yesterday itself seemed like a long week. But good morning, everyone. This is a great day for the Quad Cities and for the future of Western Illinois. For years, folks across our region and down in Springfield have worked tirelessly to make passenger rail a reality. Today, we can finally say that future is coming down the tracks. The funding is passed, and passenger rail service is on its way. But this project represents years of teamwork from local leaders and advocates to our federal and state partners, to every person who kept pushing and believing the Quad Cities that we deserve this investment. Too many people poured their hearts into this project to properly thank them all. So many of them have been mentioned. I don't want to leave anybody out. I want to say this. I'm looking around this room. Every single person in this room had something to do with this. Every person. We all share in this. And we are all one big Quad City family. And if you don't believe me, even today, I'm getting messages from my colleagues saying, my God, Greg, we got 150 emails yesterday morning in my office. All of my colleagues were getting, you just would not believe the message they were getting. And yesterday was such an emotional roller coaster because I am an eternal optimist, but deep down, I'm really not sometimes, as we've discussed. And we thought we were there. I was positive Wednesday night, and then we got into Thursday, and then we heard that our bill initially was going to be turned down, and we just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And then everything started to come together, and then we still had a ways to go, and Mike and I let them know we were not okay with this. We are going to get our piece of the pie. We are going to get treated fairly. And I just want to stop right now and say, that man right there. It has been the greatest joy of my life to spend the last few years working with this guy. This is the best senator in the entire country, let alone the state of Illinois. I'm just telling you right now. This guy. Chairman Brunk, Matt Hughes, Doug, we spent a lot of time together this week. So I can officially say with all the letters that were coming in and with our Rockland County Board Chair there, we own Springfield this week. And we got this thing done. And yes, first person I thought of yesterday was Porter. It was. I thought, you know what? Porter would always check in with me and say, Greg, what's going on with rail? What's going on? We miss him. But this isn't just about trains. It's about connection, about linking our communities to opportunity. Passenger rail means new jobs, more visitors, and stronger local economies all along the route. It means easier travel for families, more students coming to our universities, and a new gateway for businesses looking to invest right here in Western Illinois. We know what this kind of investment can do. Studies have shown that every dollar spent on rail infrastructure creates ripple effects across the economy, supporting small businesses, creating good paying construction and maintenance jobs, and laying the groundwork for long-term growth. This will be a major boost to our hospitality and tourism industries. It will help us attract more visitors to experience everything that makes this Quad City special, from our riverfront festivals and historic downtowns to the vibrant arts and culture scene that define our region. So today, let's celebrate what we've achieved, but let's keep our eyes on what's ahead, because it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about progress, pride, and opportunity for all of Western Illinois. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
So once again, thank you all for being here. I am sure that our representatives will have answers to anyone's questions. So we'll take those at this time. Yes.
Okay.
You might want to come to the mic.
Sure.
Mike, I've been dealing with the rail thing since 2000 was when we started this. And I heard we'll have it by 2004, 2008, 2012, and all of a sudden, will it be done before I retire?
I can't give you a year, and it's just not something that we can predict. But I know that for all those many years, we really struggled to try to reach an agreement with Iowa Interstate and put in some money, hoping that they would match and they would have the goodwill to get the job done. I can say with the money that is now added by this bill, we don't have to necessarily wait for their okay, so that we have more leverage to get this job done under existing law, under existing federal law, and so it's closer than it's been, but there's no timeline on it.
Well, and I want everybody to understand where the problem lay all these years, which was Iowa State Railroad.
Yeah. That's certainly my opinion, but I'm not.
Let me add something, Mr. Senator. That was the problem. I've been in office for 4 years. That I've had press conferences, previously and mentioned that. But that deal was done, I think, last year, right? Coming to a number. And now it was about finding the funding to meet that number. And now it's about all the agreements that have to be in place to make it a functional line.
If I put you on a 3.5-year timeline.
Is that you announcing your retirement?
You got to tell us.
Any other
All right.
questions?
So with that funding, do those tracks in Carroll County still need to be upgraded? And if the funds are now available, does that mean that Iowa State or Iowa Interstate is willing to make the upgrade?
I've not talked to the railroad, but the operating agreement or the existing agreements for engineering and things that have already been entered into with the railroad, those plans came up with a dollar figure. We reached that dollar figure, we believe it's going to get done.
So what makes this money different than all the other money that you've got over the decades?
Because the total amount of the project was, I believe, between $750, $800 million. We had dedicated between state and federal dollars close to about, was it 450, 475. This now completes that to get to the total cost of the project.
The rough estimate of what this dollar is about 260 million
For this,
for funding.
it ends up being about 475. It's two pools of money that include money for startup projects for rail for the Quad Cities, but also for Peoria.
Other questions?
Do you want to? Oh, Greg left. Listen. No, I mean, the next steps for me is make sure this governor signs the bill, which he will. I don't have any doubt about that. Yep. So once the bill gets signed, I think the next step is to circle back with Department of Transportation, make sure we know what the process is for getting those funds actually obligated over time, because it's not a one-year distribution. Right, right. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Greg, but it's really working with the administration to then get that, get those commitments in place from the railroad and start planning a timeline.
I'll just add, because there was some negative commentary from the other side of the aisle, and I can tell you that I'm now finishing up my third year. The promises that have been made to me have been kept. I know Representative Leader McCombie talked about how these are always false promises, and she talked about her relationship with her predecessor. I don't know what kind of relationship they had. Maybe there was some dishonesty there. But I can tell you from my end, every time I've went to my leadership and held their feet to the fire, and believe me, I have, they've come back and they've come through with that promise. So I have no reason to believe they won't.
There was another, yes, Ken.
Yeah, this is kind of a broader question, but obviously there's the appeal for Quad citizens who want to get on that train to go to Chicago, right? But what do you guys feel are some of the qualities that Chicagoans or others in that metro area would have?
Well, we should turn that over to Dave.
Right here.
You always have to be careful when the mayor is volunteering you to step up to the microphone. Dave Harold, Visit Quad Cities. First, the mayor used the word teamwork, and obviously you're seeing that be manifested in all the people that are here today to celebrate this. This is a big deal for the region. Obviously, it's a huge deal for the city of Moline. It does have broader implications, okay? That connectivity, Chicago is our #1 source for visitation into the Quad Cities, by far, like exponentially far, and more reaching than other communities. So it gives us an opportunity to further leverage marketing, promotional, group sales efforts, that connectivity, but it's beyond just like visitation. It's economic development, it's certainly higher ed, it's jobs, it's got like a far broader economic development opportunity for us to leverage. But this is going to add tremendous value to our visitor economy and tourism, and we're excited about that. Thank you.
Why would you not want to come here? Look back here. We've got our beautiful riverfront. Every single downtown is being renovated and being built. I mean, the way we are transforming this area. You'd be crazy not to come here. And by the way, we have the best damn people and the best community in the entire country. So that's why they should come down here.
In addition, you heard Mr. Harrell use the word connectivity, right? And we heard from some of our speakers about higher ed and all those opportunities that are created. Us as a metro area being connected to other regions of the state, that connectivity is good for the entire state, not just for us. So when we were talking about reciprocal relationships. And so I wanted to point out that there was conversation with Cook County and their board chair, Preckwinkle, and the State Chamber of Commerce, right? There were a lot of people brought into this conversation. It wasn't just this group representing our needs, it was bringing other people into the conversation from other parts of the state. So I didn't want to forget to share that. Pam, you want
Hi, I'm Ann Davidson. As being a resident of Galesburg, Illinois, I think this is wonderful. It's nothing taken away from Galesburg, but it's an addition to our state, our fantastic state of Illinois. So I just want to say thank you for everything you've done.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Last one, I swear. Y'all mentioned education. Western over here was built primarily because we were feeling that railroad was coming in. Will this be the boost that Western needs? As well as all.
Yeah, I think it can be. Higher education throughout Western Illinois, if you look at Knox College, you look at Western Illinois Macomb, like it's a heavily trafficked line with college students. If we have that connectivity, there's no reason to think it won't attract students that might not otherwise be here.
I have one more, sorry, I just want to clarify, will the state pay for the track sim so that Iowa Interstate doesn't have to?
So the package is put together. We're going to make sure that the state is prepared to put that amount of money in. We believe that's what it's going to cost. So I think the answer is yes. Yeah.
Any final questions? Yeah.
And then, how are you guys planning to address other public infrastructure once they get off the train, sidewalks, other walkways, stuff like that, to help that?
I'll defer to the city of Moline on this one, but I think they're ready to go.
You know, judging by the amount of cones and roads closed and sidewalk infill that we've been doing, you should know that the city's already thinking ahead about all of that. We've dedicated a majority of the growth dollars we have in the last couple budget cycles to infrastructure projects. We've gotten grant money for infrastructure projects. So between the amazing system that Metrolink has already put together for that connectivity, between the pedestrian safety that we're trying to address as well, and then any inroads we can make with rideshare, who knows where that conversation could go. I think we're in a really good place for getting people from this spot to other regions of the Quad Cities.
$30 million of collective investment in your eyesight around here as you walk out of this building.
Thank you,
Parking
Tom.
lots in this facility, in the crosswalk, to have more access for parking. It's been an enormous investment by the city.
Yep. So with that, I think we'll close our press conference. And yes, Reggie?
I think we would go without really taking our hats off, our hearts to the man that was in charge of the dog, as you call him.
The train czar. Thank you everyone for joining us. I am sure there's a need for some memory-making pictures, so don't go anywhere yet. Ashley, are you in charge of that? All right, well, come on up. Thank you, everyone.